Yeah, I have a theory about that. I think the
Okay.
harder the game is, the more welcoming and friendly the community
The
is. Dark
misery.
Souls,
Yeah.
yeah, Dark Souls is the same way. The community is super nice and very like very welcoming on Twitch. And it's really funny because like any game where it's like shared misery,
Yeah. You're onto
the
something. Yeah.
community itself is like super nice because everybody. I think it's just the constant like, oh, dude, I understand that task sucks. I
Yeah.
feel for you. Let me help you. And that's kind of what it is. It's that shared misery of like, I don't want you to suffer like I did, sort
Right.
of thing. So like, I think that's what it is.
Welcome to Tarducks, a podcast for content creators to come on and share their experiences, stories, and advice. And today I am super happy to have Smashley.
Hi, I'm
How are
Smashley.
you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Having a
Excellent.
good day.
Awesome. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks.
So, what we normally do first is we start off with 3 rapid questions just to get the juices flowing. So, are you ready?
Sure.
All right, here we go. So, if you could sit down with anybody in the world, past or present, who would you like to sit down with and have a conversation with?
Oh my God. Oh, God. Are you rapid fire
Yeah.
questions like this? Oh, Jesus. Honestly, I think it'd be actually like I don't like idolize Elon Musk or anybody, but I'd want to talk to him for like a bit to
Yeah.
honestly know how he started earning all that money.
Oh my God,
Like,
yes.
I mean, to be fair,
Yep.
dude, like, how did you get started on that shit? Like, I mean, yay for SpaceX and all the other shit, but
Right.
like, I just want to talk to him for a bit. Like, hey, help me out.
All right. Favorite concert you've ever been to?
Um, That would be actually it was a, small little blues concert, actually up in the mountains of North Carolina,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was, like, a whole bunch of, like, little local blues bands,
Yeah.
that play up there, and it was amazing. Like, I don't even remember their names or
Yeah.
anything, but it was just local, and it was, like, honestly one of the best times I've ever
Oh,
had. It was great.
very
I love
cool.
blues.
Excellent. All right. And last movie you saw?
The last movie I saw, um The Gray Man on Netflix, which was really cool
Okay.
with
Was it
Ryan
good?
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, yeah, it was really
All
good.
right.
No, not
Cool.
Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling.
Yes,
Gosling,
that's, yep.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I
So,
like action flicks.
nothing wrong with that. Did you see that one? Oh, it's on Amazon about the Navy SEALs that got one of the Navy SEAL guys. He gets infected or he gets injected with something and it causes like a tumor.
Oh, dang!
Terminalist.
I started watching that, and it was, like, blowing my mind because I'm like, "Wait, are they" I was like, "Is all this happening, or is he
Yeah.
imagining it?" And it was messing with my mind really bad, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty good. All right. So who is Smashley? Where do you come from? Where'd you grow up?
Hi, I'm Smashley. I actually grew up in South Carolina, but very, very early on moved to North Carolina. Pretty much lived here all my life, and
Oh,
I I'm Smashley. I got the nickname from very old RPGs where I always grabbed a hammer, and I don't know if you like. I just like smashing things. I
yeah.
actually used to have like a 5 foot tall, humongous like hammer that I brought to like conventions and stuff because
Oh
it
no.
like lit up and stuff, and it's great. But it started falling apart after a while. But I
Oh.
like smashing things, and even though hammers are honest to God in video games usually the worst weapon, it's
Mm-hmm.
almost always the worst weapon. I like the satisfying crunch and smush things.
Nice. Now, have you ever gone to one of those places where you can like, pay like so much money and then you can go into the room and you can just smash stuff and break things?
Yes, I got to smash a watermelon and it was fantastic. Honestly,
Oh.
it was everything I wanted. It was so great. Like, I mean, watermelon chunks went everywhere and I was
Yeah.
sticky for like a long time, but it was great. It was honestly amazing.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. So what did you do before you started streaming?
Oh, I am actually so I currently have 5 jobs and we'll get into that. But before I started streaming, I actually was a I was the CTO for a medical company.
Oh,
So I
wow.
actually handled everything there. But I was I started programming very, very early.
Yeah.
My mom was a programmer. She was
Mm-hmm.
one of the actually like when they show like historical documents of them, the like doing the punch cards and
Yeah.
stuff for like computers back in the day.
Yeah.
That was my mom.
Oh,
So like
wow.
it was yeah. She was like original back in the day, and so when I was 12, I was so interested in like what she did for work and everything that I was like, teach me this stuff. And I actually learned to write my first program, which it was something stupid like converting Celsius to Fahrenheit. Um, and I wrote my first program when I was 12. So it was
Oh,
like
my
kind of
Lord.
ridiculous. And then I basically just dabbled in it and learned stuff all the time until I went to college. I went to college for computer science and
Yeah.
applied math, which, yes, I'm a big nerd.
Oh, my Lord.
I'm a huge nerd.
Yeah.
And I went to college for those, and it was really funny though because I went to college and I barely learned anything.
Oh,
I'm
no.
not gonna lie. I like got the piece of paper and it was like, hey, look what I did.
Yeah.
and that was about it. There was a few classes where I learned stuff, but for the most part, my mom had taught me so
Yeah.
much that like college was just like, here's all the stuff you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I got out of there and hunted for jobs for a while.
Yeah.
It was bad for a while, and then I landed this programming job and worked my way up the ranks
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. And then the funny part is I was CTO of this company. I was doing great,
Yeah.
having fun. I hated my like job.
Oh, that's
Honestly,
not good.
like it's like I start off programming. I enjoy that. You know,
Yeah.
like I enjoy programming, and getting promoted to CTO was like this huge thing. I was like, this is great. But then I no longer programmed. I just
Yeah.
like, you know, like yelled at people to tell them to go program. And I'm like,
Right.
I was like, I want to be doing the stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been playing games for a very long time. When I
Yeah.
was in college, I played CSGO professionally,
Oh,
or not
wow.
Go, 1.6.
Yeah.
I'm so used to calling it CSGO these days, but I played 1.6 and Source professionally.
Yeah.
Source for like 2 seasons, but
Holy
Source
cow.
is awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played. My skills are so rusty at shooters these days, though. It's so bad. It's so funny to know where I came from and then
Yeah.
here.
Now,
But I actually flunked a semester in college because I was playing professionally.
get out.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like it eats so much time.
Yeah.
Like it is such a time commitment.
Oh, wow. So going back a little further, what were some of the first video games you played? Were like on PC? Were you on a console?
I
back
played
then?
Atari.
Oh,
Like
excellent.
that's how long I've been playing video games.
Yeah.
I played Atari. My grandfather on my dad's side had an Atari, and
Oh,
it was like my first like major experience of video games, and it was Asteroids. I love Asteroids still to this day.
nice.
Um, but then my parents, I begged them for a Nintendo
Yeah.
when it came out, the Nintendo Entertainment
Yeah.
System, and I got like all the peripherals for
Yeah.
it, like all
Oh,
of
the
them. Like I
glove
got the
and
gun, I had the glove, I had I had the mat for like
oh
the
my God.
track and field thing.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, like I loved it, and I was hooked ever since. Like
Oh,
I've had almost every console
yeah.
since then, except for actually the recent ones. I just got a PS5. I haven't even hooked it up yet. I just got a PS5,
Yeah.
and yeah, I've owned a lot of consoles for over the
Yeah.
years.
The NES, that square rectangle controller was
It
so
was
awful.
awful. It
Oh
was
yeah.
awful.
Yeah, it was
It
awful.
was so bad. Oh
Yeah.
god.
Almost like, damaged your hands because there's just sharp corners. It
The
wasn't
the
rounded.
square
Yeah.
corner. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're holding on to
absolutely.
them constantly and going, "Ow,
Yeah.
ow." But the gun still holds up to this
The
day.
zapper. Yep.
Amazing.
It is pretty cool back then. Now, over the years, what are some of those games before, CS? What were some of the games that stuck out that like, you look back like they were fun games?
Um, there's like 3 that really stick out.
Yeah.
2 of them were like for me, and that's Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy Tactics.
Yeah.
I adore both of those games so much. But the other one was actually, and this was how I got started in the streaming, so this is actually interesting. One of the games that really stuck out for me was Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
And that was because I have 2 older brothers, and I have
Mm-hmm.
my dad, who, like all play video games, honestly. But like I was always the one that was like a little bit better than my brothers and my
Oh,
dad.
okay.
And so when we would play, basically we would all get together and we'd have like family night, and my mom would just watch and laugh at
Yeah.
us. But we'd have family night and we'd play Super Smash Bros. Like the original on the N64,
Yeah.
and we play it nonstop, like all the time. Like it was multiple nights a week, and But after a while, my brothers and my dad got tired of me beating their asses. I'm not gonna lie. They got tired of me beating their asses.
Yeah.
And so they stopped and so I had to start going easier on them and like that sort of
Oh,
thing. And I got better and stuff. And so the interesting thing is like that was actually one of the driving motivations for me
yeah.
to start streaming is I wanted more people to play with. I
Right.
wanted people I could play against and not feel bad if I started beating them or
Yeah.
give me a challenge. I yearn for challenge in
Okay.
games. I yearn for it so bad. And so that was actually one of the reasons I started streaming.
So now, when did you discover CS? Before you streamed, or after?
Way before I
Oh,
streamed. Way
okay.
before.
And
Twitch
what?
wasn't even a thing then.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I
now
think
what?
it was Justin TV then, or if it
Yeah.
was anything.
Now, what was your path to CS? Like, did you play for other first-person shooters, or was really CS was that first dive into that genre?
I am playing like some single player shooters and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a friend of mine. I was actually really good at fighting games for a
Oh,
while.
okay.
That was actually my thing for a long time. And actually, my first foray into any like esports anything was me winning a Mortal Kombat tournament, a
Oh,
Mortal Kombat 2 tournament, like
oh wow.
way back. And that was like my first taste, like I can win money from playing games.
Oh
Like,
my
what is
lord.
going on? And so that was actually my first taste of like any esports. And then my friend, who I played against, he was like one of the few people I'd fight against in fighting games and how I got good at them.
Yeah.
'Cause he was really good too. He played in the same tournament. I managed to beat him for like it was like, like student becomes master sort
Yeah.
of thing. It was great. But that was like my first foray into it. But then he goes, "Hey, I got this new mod for Half-Life." Is what he said. He
Yeah.
goes, "I got this new mod for Half-Life," and he hands me a burnt CD. Like if you were
Yeah.
back in those days,
Oh yeah.
this burnt CD is just labeled CS on it. And I probably have that CD around here somewhere. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Keep it for it's one of the few things I keep for sentimental value.
Yeah.
But on it is a like beta. The only thing on it is a single exe that is the beta install for like Counter Strike. And at the
Yeah.
time, you didn't have to pay for it. It was just a mod for Half Life. And I jumped into it. I was like, this is awesome because it was like at the time, CS was like sort of like most shooters were just like pick up a gun and go.
Right.
And I loved the like money, like it
Hmm.
was almost like RPG-esque shooter. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is great. And I dived into it hard,
Yeah.
really bad, really bad. Played it all through most of my college until I had to quit.
Oh.
Honestly, I had to quit because I flunked. I actually flunked it. I had to make up my grades and like summer classes
Oh
to
wow.
get back in and stuff. It was really bad. It was really bad. But I ended up with 2 degrees and made it
Excellent.
out and got an awesome job and then started streaming.
And now back before, so you played CS. Now, where did the whole pro thing? How did you what was that path? Your first tournaments and whatnot, and
Well, it was really interesting actually because so I was in college and my RA my RA was playing Counter-Strike.
yeah,
And so there was like this like dorm sort of like we would, people would just get on and like we, play Counter-Strike. And
yeah,
it's really funny because like we were all in the same dorm, like it was the thing. And so my RA actually played Counter-Strike and then so we started like playing we started playing together and then he was like, "Oh, I have some buddies." And I was like, "Okay, all right, well, let's get some buddies." And so we
yeah.
kind of formed this like little team. And then we signed up for at the time it was the Cyber Athlete League.
Okay.
Cowling, if you had played back then. And we signed up for that and then we started making our way through the ranks. And
Oh
it was
wow.
really like we're winning. And it was really weird because we had like a playbook and everything. Like we were invested.
You were
Like
legit.
it was bad. Yeah, it was really bad. And then we got a oh, I have a really cool thing to show you actually.
Okay.
We got our first sponsor, and I have actually like I still use it literally to this
No
day.
way.
I use a stupid mouse pad. Well, like I said, slightly sentimental, but
Yeah.
this is really interesting. This was our first sponsor. This is the first thing they gave us. They gave us these like frosted glass mouse pads.
Oh wow.
And at the time, they were like it's supposed to help your laser mice, like your optical mice, like react faster and all this other stuff. And it probably doesn't, honestly. But here's an interesting thing about this company. This is called IceMat, and you may know them today by SteelSeries.
Oh, no
This is
way.
actually what they started out as, is just a company that makes these weird glass mouse pads.
Get out. That's so cool.
Yeah, and so they were technically our first sponsor, and then we got sponsored by NVIDIA, and
Holy crow.
and that was really awesome for a bit. And I got to go to the CPL, and we got decimated. We went and lost. It was, and honestly, that was like the spelling of the end for me. Honestly, it was like, okay, this is the big thing, and then we went and we got absolutely.
Was there that much of a difference between that level of play and to?
I mean, we were already playing against these teams, like regularly, like the ones we went to play against. We were already playing against them regularly throughout the season and stuff, and we were doing okay. But I think like it was, and we had done tournaments and stuff too. And back then, by the way, if anybody was in esports back then, they understand that we didn't get paid really. Like we were pro gamers, right? Like we were slightly paid, but it was literally like our sponsors were taking everything. We got screwed over bad back then. Like all of us who like paved the way for esports, like we got screwed over so bad. And like I look at some of the esports people these days, I'm like, you are making so much like money and stuff. Like what? Like you guys haven't made. Like what is going on? But yeah, we got decimated. And I think it was just like it was so much pressure because it was the event.
Oh, okay.
And you know, it was like at the time the CPL was like the biggest event of like all esports. Like all the games were there that everybody was playing, all the esports athletes were there. It was where everything happened every month or every year in Texas. And it was like, all right, well, you know, let's we were like, we have to show up. And then we showed up and found out.
And now, were you still having fun playing the game at that point? Or was it? No, it was just.
No. Yeah. No, it really like, if anybody was like, I want to be a pro gamer these days, I actually I try to warn them and make them understand like legitimately, like you're going to be playing the same game every day in, day out, 8 to 12 hours a day. And if you don't, you lose. And that's it. Like, if not more. And I was like, if the idea that you literally can't spend time playing another game right now doesn't sound great to you, or if the idea of playing this game for the next 5 years or something doesn't sound great to you, don't get into it.
Now, do you think that experience is part of the reason why you ended up in the variety path of streamers or content creators?
Yeah. But the funny part is being a variety streamer is like one of the hardest things you can do on Twitch. It's awful. It's actually awful. I think you asked like some of your previous people that what is a thing that you would recommend for new streamers? And
you're getting ahead of me.
Don't be a variety streamer. Is literally it. Like I would say like pick a game, find a game and stick to it, and make sure it's one that you enjoy and that you enjoy for a very long time, because build a community around like that game and that sort of thing. So like you've done with Tarkov.
And then branch off, get your community, get your base, and then roll into something, because like you said, being a variety streamer, nobody's going to find you amongst 10 other pages of variety streamers, and every day you're just changing a game. People
tune into Twitch for a particular game, and then they'll be like, "Oh, that's my streamer for that game," sort of thing. Like they want to watch a particular game.
And now, what game did you start streaming with?
I actually started streaming with Warframe.
Okay.
And so Warframe was my game to get started with. I actually found Twitch through Dota.
Oh, wow.
I was like I said, I was still doing competitive stuff, and you know, I was really big into the international, which by the way is this year's is coming up in like 2 days or something. I still watch it. But I found Twitch through the international. It was like one of the first things I'd ever seen on Twitch. I was like, hey, watch the big $1 million. I think it was $1 million back then. Now it's like tens of millions.
Wow.
And they were like, watch it on Twitch. I'm like, the hell is Twitch? And so I go watch it. I'm like, this is really cool. And then at the time I was playing a lot of Warframe. I was like, ooh, I wonder if they have my game that I'm playing on here. And this is what I mean. Like people tune into Twitch for a particular game.
Yeah.
And so I go and I look up Warframe. I'm like, oh my God, look at all these people playing Warframe. This is cool. And so I obviously click on the very first person.
Yeah.
And it was this streamer. He sadly doesn't stream anymore. But it's this streamer called King Radnoff. And he was playing and he was just like entertaining and talking to chat and all this other stuff. And I was like, and literally the first day I'm watching this, I'm like, this is great. I love this. Like hanging out in this community and like, like I got to jump into a game with him on like day one or something. And I was like, this is so cool. I was like, I like this. I was like, and I realized I could do this. I was like, I could stream. And because I actually have experience DJing. My dad.
Okay.
So I helped him out like a lot of times, like doing his little DJ gigs and stuff. And so like I was already comfortable on a microphone. I was comfortable like entertaining people, if you will. And I saw like that's exactly what he's doing. But he's playing a game and entertaining. And I was like, ooh, cool. I was like, I could probably do this. And a few months later, I think I found them, like I said, the international was somewhere around like September, October, somewhere around there. And a few months later, that December, I started streaming. And that was almost 8 years ago.
Get out. That was my question. Like when did this all happen? So you were on the cusp of basically, that's so cool. And now back then, I can't imagine the tools you have now, being a streamer,
there were no tools. I actually wrote my own chatbot. So nowadays everybody just like subscribes to the common ones like Stream Elements or Streamlabs or whatever. But I actually like all the ones back then were awful. They were really bad. And so I was a programmer. I wrote my own, and then there's like 10 other streamers or somebody who used my bot for a while.
Oh no.
And I was just like, like I don't like their bot. And I actually ended up programmer. Making my bot really unique and making like a whole video game that people would play and chat and earn items by watching the stream and stuff. And it was the first iteration of one of the channel points that are now all across Twitch. So I actually had programmed something similar to that into my bot, and then pretty much everything we all did back then. Like hype trains. I actually still have like a hype meter on my screen. The more people type hype in chat, it goes up, sort of thing. But like all these things that Twitch has like normally now, we all had to invent.
Oh dear Lord.
So like squad streaming, multi-streams and stuff like that, like all programmed and stuff, third-party tools that we've all used. And now Twitch is like, no, it's a part of the platform.
Yeah. And now what about like were there tools for mods, or did you even have mods back then?
I didn't have any mods starting, obviously. But I actually got some mods pretty quick because I grew really fast on Warframe. Warframe was kind of popping off at the time. I got on Warframe, and this blows a lot of people's minds, especially these days. But I was partnered in 7 months.
Holy cow.
So yeah, I've been partnered for a really long time. So I was actually partnered in 7 months, and a lot of it was due to like by 7 months I had like 100 viewers. And I was already like, holy crap, I don't know what to do with my life. And it was really funny because, like I said, I told you before, I started streaming because I just wanted to find some other people to like play with. And I was like, man, I just want like some people to hang out with and play these games and be on like a similar like passion for video games. Because like, you have your friends around you and stuff, and they may play games, but they're not gamers.
Right, that passion is not there. You can't geek out talking about this game or that game or anything like that.
Exactly. So like suddenly finding a whole bunch of people that were like interested in the same game I was, which at the time was Warframe. Like put me in this boat of like, okay, sweet, we can hang out and play games and do all this stuff. And
oh my God. And now back then when you got your partner letter notification, was it as big as it is today for a lot of people, or was
bigger?
Oh wow, okay.
I'm gonna explain bigger.
All right.
Affiliates and stuff today kind of know it's coming. Like they somewhat don't, because they still have to apply and they still get rejected automatically pretty much. By the way, if you guys apply for partner and you get your first thing rejected, don't worry. I applied 6 times.
Holy cow.
Everybody literally gets rejected on the first time, besides like very, very select cases. So don't even worry about that. Keep applying, keep trying to do it. And honestly, like word your letter really good. And that's what got me in, is actually I like reworked my whole letter to explain, because basically Twitch wants to invest in you and they want to know that you're going to make them more money. Basically, they're a company. And so literally trying to tell them like, no, I plan to do this for a very long time, and this is my growth like plan and stuff like that. They're going to be like, okay, yeah, let's partner this person.
Right.
So that was actually kind of what got me partnered. I mean, I had the numbers, I had the stuff
Yeah.
like that. And but being a partner back then was huge. Like it wasn't like the, hundreds of thousands of partners or whatever there are
Right.
these days.
Yeah.
It was dime a dozen. And if you were partnered, you had like this huge status symbol of like like there wasn't a check mark or anything
Yeah.
like that. There was nothing along those lines. It was just like they're partnered. You could sub to them. Like affiliates didn't have a sub button or
Yeah.
anything like that. Like you had to earn your money through like the only method was like PayPal.
Yeah.
That was it.
Oh my
That was it.
God.
Just donate. There was no
Yeah.
bits. There was no like if you weren't a partner, you didn't have subs.
Yeah.
And so the funniest part though was I didn't know I got partnered. I
Okay.
had no idea. I had applied
Yeah.
and I was waiting to hear back from them, right? And one of my friends knew friends with Twitch staff, knew I was getting partnered before I got partnered.
Oh, no
And so
way.
the funniest thing is I was like getting my stream ready, and suddenly it says like Mob Lord subscribed, and I was like, excuse me, like what is happening? And suddenly like everybody I started getting subs like crazy, and I was just
Oh
like,
my
I don't know what's
God.
happening. And because like Twitch staff would bring their people by and stuff, so
Oh,
like back
shoot.
then getting partnered was just like suddenly you had a sub button and people just go crazy.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was great. It was like a big celebration almost. Like
Yeah.
holy crap, I'm partnered. And you have like the other streamers, bring their communities
Yeah.
by and stuff. So it was
Oh.
really cool.
And did they have raids back then?
You had to manually do it.
Oh,
So
okay.
like that was how it got started. It was like back then there was hosting. There was hosting. But rating was literally like, hey guys, everybody go over there and like spam their chat
Yeah.
and then hang out there for the rest of
Oh
the
my
day.
God.
And that was how you do it. And I still raid that way.
Yeah.
I still I use Twitch's function, but I still have people like go over there and like flood their chat with blue
Yeah.
nuts and hammers and things.
That's awesome. And now, what was the toughest thing about streaming back then? And then and then what's tough about today, or it's similar?
I think back then it was this like, how can I say it?
Some people described it as the Wild West.
It very much was. Like there was this like insane fluctuation and like everything, like
Yeah.
what was good, what was how your numbers were or something like that. And
Yeah.
like there was just like, it's crazy back then. But the one thing that I kind of like long for compared to today's is the discoverability.
Yeah.
There was infinitely less people streaming, which means that there was just that more opportunity for new people to find you.
Yeah.
And that not being there today's, because there's so many people streaming, does make it incredibly hard for anyone new to get started.
Yeah.
And so it was like looking at old directories. A busy directory at the time was like 20 people streaming to it. So,
wow.
so it's like now you look at a directory and there's like thousands upon thousands of people streaming to it if it's a busy directory.
Right.
So.
And then, and today, what would you think another tough thing or difficult thing about, going live?
I think today's market is way worse because back then you really only had to specialize in Twitch.
Yeah.
And today's market is you need to be on every social media platform. You have to be on every platform pretty much at the same time, posting everything to everywhere so people can consume you.
Right.
Like that's what your job is basically as a Twitch streamer, is like you're giving basically a part of your life to entertain other people.
Yeah. That's very good. Yeah. And what has been the highlight looking back from when you first went live to today? What has been a couple of the highlights that really stick out for you?
So here's some interesting information.
Oh, I love this.
I average around like 150 viewers or so. That's pretty much been my average for honestly years.
Yeah.
But I have fluctuated from incredible lows, like on certain games. I've had like 30 viewers, and I'm just like, well, no, shouldn't play this game ever again. And then I've had other days where I've had 20,000 viewers.
Oh my God.
Without raids and stuff like that, because like I've I've done some really cool stuff on Twitch in 8 years. I mean, after 8 years, you end up doing really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But like my competitive nature drove me over these years to like set world records.
Yeah.
So I've set like 9 world records in
No
video
way.
games. Yeah. So
Oh, do
2 of
tell.
them,
What are some of them?
3 of them in Warframe.
Yeah.
One of them got beat. One of them still stands. I have no idea how it does, but it's the longest Kuva survival in Warframe. Basically, one of the hardest survival missions you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4 of us, we did it actually on the front page of Twitch. That was one of the times I had like 20,000 viewers.
Wow.
And we did it on the front page of Twitch. It was 8 hours and like
Oh my God.
I think the record it still stands at like 8 hours and like 2 minutes or something like that. And it was one of the most intense moments I've ever had in gaming is those 8 hours and like having to manage like bathroom breaks and stuff.
Dear
It was
Lord, yeah.
very intense. I'm actually it's really interesting. I've set all these world records in like speed running and stuff
Yeah.
like Dark Souls and Anthem and stuff like that. But I've never really been super proud of them. Like
Yeah.
they've been awesome moments when they happened, but I've never been super proud of them because for me, a lot of the world records I set are like on Anthem. And no one plays that anymore. It's a dead game.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, well, it was a world record, I guess, at the time, but no one was playing it.
Yeah.
Or like my world record in Dark Souls is on a very particular weird speed run that
Yeah.
no one runs. It's on the hardest difficulty at the lowest level, and that's my speed run. It's like
Okay.
2 hours on max new game soul level 1 in Dark Souls. But no one runs that because it's hard as shit. And I guess I'm a masochist. So some of the things I really enjoyed has been that. And then actually recently, one of the things I really enjoyed was I still average like 150 viewers, but like
Yeah.
a few months ago, when New World came out, right?
Yeah.
I was averaging 1,000
Mhm. Oh,
for
my Lord.
weeks.
Yeah.
Because I was like highly invested in it. People were like tuning in to watch all the wars and the strategies I was doing for like our whole companies and everything. And people still come by my stream and go, "Oh, you're the New World girl." And I'm like, "Sure, I guess
Yeah.
I'll take it." Sure. So
Oh.
that's been some of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
honestly.
Oh, that's so.
That
And
and I
that,
still remember the day I realized that I could get paid to do this,
yeah.
and that is when Chat bought me this dining room table. Actually,
No way.
yeah,
Oh my God.
I
That's-
didn't have a dining room table. I didn't have anything to eat off of.
Yeah.
And it was like a few months into streaming, and I was like, I was like, I'm eating off my couch.
Right.
they're like, what? And like, let's get you a table. And they like funded it in one stream or something. And so I got this table
Oh my
back here in Madison.
Isn't it amazing how your communities, and not just your communities, but other stream content creator communities, just come together and they'll do anything for you guys, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And likewise, you guys are there to help them and the relationships you build over years.
Yeah, I like the circle of it. So like Chat's given me like this stuff,
Yeah.
like they've given me some of these like tons of shoes. I collect shoes, by the way. It's a really, really crazy one. Like these ones up here
Yeah.
have dragons on them,
Oh, okay.
which are really, really awesome and stuff. But like Chat's given me like tons of stuff, but I love giving back too. So like
Yeah.
I like doing St. Jude and stuff. And like the other day, in the Tarkov community, actually, like OnePeg or something. OnePeg met some guy randomly in a raid and ended up like going, "Oh, you stream?" And the guy was like super nice. Well, I'm not sure if you heard the story or whatever.
No.
And I was there, and we all went over to this guy's stream. He was like, and we just started throwing money at him. We were like, because he was super nice in game. It was
Yeah.
like over the top nice. You're like, dude, you don't have to do it. He was helping OnePeg get the grenadier task
Okay, yeah.
done. And he was literally like, no, like, we can go find you a nade so you can kill me. And you're like, dude, what? And they spend 10 minutes running around,
Yeah.
like reserve, looking for a nade so he could kill him. And
Oh.
I'm just like, dude, you didn't have to do this. And some people start going like throwing money at him. I was like,
Yeah.
heck yeah, let's do it. So I went over there and dropped like
Oh
10
my
subs
God.
or something. And then everybody else started piling in and we like ran like this guy wasn't even streaming. And ran like this offline hype train on him.
Yeah.
And he got so overwhelmed. He was like, he started his stream. He like started it to
Yeah.
thank everybody because he like not that many
Oh,
followers
wow.
and everything. And so we were like slightly overwhelmed. Actually, Twitch like flagged his payout and was like, "We can't pay you right now.
Oh.
Like something suspicious here." Like, dude, we did this.
Right.
But it was really great because it turns out this guy has cancer
Yeah.
and Twitch was basically like trying to help pay for his chemo treatments.
Oh my
And so
God.
us going over there, we had no idea too. We were just like
Yeah.
trying to be nice to this guy who was nice to OnePeg.
Yeah.
And we went over there and did all this, and basically we paid for like 2 or 3 months of his chemo
Oh my
treatments.
God. That's so
And
awesome.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that sort of stuff. Like
Yeah.
I've gotten invited to GCX
Yeah.
like 3 times to raise money for them. I think one time we raised $20,000 in 4 hours, which
That's
was
crazy.
nutty. I
Yeah.
was like, this is great. I love it.
Yeah.
So I like the like chat's give me all this, and it's like now I can get back to
Yeah.
like so much else.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've had Clintus and Ames on, and both of them part of the GCX. And there's so much, like gamers do good things, and you see the money that people have raised through GCX for St. Jude's and Gamers Outreach and things like that. It's really, really awesome to see.
It is. I love it.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like still though, like who beat Lupo?
Oh my
Like
God. Yes.
you can't beat that man.
Yeah.
Like
Nope. Yeah.
he's just like, oh, do we need to raise money? Hold on a second.
Yeah. Hold my beer. Let's go.
Hold my beer. Let me
Yes,
do this.
exactly. So now, when did you start transferring off of Warframe into other games? When did that variety start? And did you just go, one day, all right, let's play this?
It was honestly after I like set that first world record.
Yeah.
Because I got bored with
Yeah.
Warframe. I have like thousands of hours in that game,
Yeah.
and I don't play it anymore because I've like at this point I've like beat it in
Yeah.
my mind. I've done everything I wanted to do with it.
Yeah.
And I've thousands of hours, but that was kind of it. Like, all right, let me try something else. I jumped into Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Set a world record there. And at that point I was Warframe and Dark Souls for a really long time. And then I started playing just a whole host of games at that point. I remember switching to try The Witcher for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's one of those games where I had like 20 viewers.
Oh, no.
It was like The Witcher 2. And I was like, oh God, this is awful. I was like, how do you do variety streams at all? Like,
Yeah.
how does this survive? And finally figured out, like some formulas to
Yeah.
make things better. But
And did you know, how did your community, did you keep a consistent community? The same name stayed with you at that point because they liked who you were and how you streamed and just the vibe of the community?
I've had some mods and viewers that are still around.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I mean, it's been 8 years. So like there are people, like a lot of my very first subs are gone, but I still have like every month on like the 14th is my like resub day. So basically like the rollover day of whenever whenever I originally got partnered.
Yeah.
But I have like 3 guys that come in every single time on the 14th if I'm streaming. If I'm not streaming on the 14th, they're there on the 15th.
Yeah.
And they were day 1 subs, and they still continue to sub to me. I'm just like, that's blowing my mind. And not just sub, like it's not just like, oh, sub and leave it.
Right.
And that's what they still show up and like share the sub every single month. I'm just like, y'all are dedicated.
And now over the years, what are some of the games that stuck out that like, oh my God, I can never play that game again because it was just just nobody showed up? Like Witcher 2, you said, is one of them. Any other ones that stick out?
Was really bad. There's a game I'll never play, but not because of bad viewership.
Yeah.
I had amazing viewership on it. I don't want to ever play this game ever again, and I highly recommend no one ever playing it ever again, which is I Want to Be the Boshi. And that game is literally designed to cause pain.
Oh.
And the 2 times I've played it, the only reason I played it is because I raised a lot of money for charity. It was a goal.
Yeah.
And at this point, though, I don't even want to do it for charity anymore. It's that painful. I hate that so much. It's literally like the guy who wrote it designed it to make people infuriated.
Oh God.
It's basically a platformer with unforgiving rules.
Oh, okay.
Unforgiving rules. Like absolutely, like you miss by like a tiny pixel and you have to start over. It's really awful.
Yeah.
It is. And so I actually like set a goal or something. I was like, unless somebody throws $10,000 at me as one lump sum donation, I'm not playing this game. It's just not happening. I was like, that might be the one case. I was like, okay, all right, I can do it for that.
And what game is there a couple of games that really stick out as you just really, when you fire that up, it's a good time?
Right now, Path of Exile.
Yeah.
I've been super addicted to Path of Exile, and I regularly do. I get addicted to Path of Exile pretty bad. So we're playing that right now.
Yeah.
But that always comes in spurts because you
Yeah.
get tired of it.
And I think I saw
Um,
you also play Star Citizen too.
I do. I played Star Citizen
That's
a
a
very long
beautiful
time.
game, isn't it?
It is incredible, and I love that like the Tarkov community is kind of discovering it as well
Yeah.
because it's become more Tarkov like.
Yeah.
There's like loot and stuff, and like you die, you drop all of it and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very space Tarkov. I play that a lot. I've actually played that for a very long time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it's really interesting. There's a lot of broadcasters that like play Star Citizen as one of their main games, and I introduced them to it. It's like DJ Knight is one of my teammates on the Flagship.
Yeah.
And I was one of the people that are like, DJ, you need to play this game. I see you playing Elite Dangerous, but like this is right up your alley too. And he ended up checking it out. I was like, this is awesome. And he plays it as like one of his top stream game, I think, of all time now.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
hilarious. And there's other like interesting tidbits. Like I'm pretty sure you interviewed MsMagpie, right?
I was trying to get her. Everybody's nominated her.
Magpie
I
on
haven't
here?
got
Oh
Mags
my
yet.
God.
I think she's
Okay.
shy. So, but
she is. But here's a really interesting tidbit about Mag. She actually watched me for a really long time back on Twitch before she started streaming.
oh no way.
And she won a keyboard from one of my giveaways or something, and she used it for like the longest time while streaming. And
Oh,
I just
wow.
like it was so funny because like she's now like super popular. She's more popular than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm just like I'm super happy for her. Like so incredibly happy for her because it's like she used to hang out and watch my stream
Yeah.
and won a keyboard, and now she's like big dog Tarkov streamer. I'm like,
Yeah.
heck yeah, Meg.
Absolutely. And it's one of the things I've noticed that, since I came into the Tarkov community and just in general, it just seems so there's no real competition. Everybody
Yeah.
is just there to help and support everybody else, whether it's, the low people just getting started out or the high, the people who've been around for a while. They mix it up, and it's really nice to see.
Yeah, I have a theory about that. I think the
Okay.
harder the game is, the more welcoming and friendly the community is.
The misery.
Dark Souls-
Yeah.
Yeah, Dark Souls is the same way. The community is super nice and very like very welcoming on Twitch. And it's really funny because like any game where it's like shared misery,
Yeah. You're onto something,
the
yeah.
community itself is like super nice because everybody. I think it's just the constant like, oh, dude, I understand that task sucks. I
Yeah.
feel for you. Let me help you. And that's kind of what it is. It's that shared misery of like, I don't want you to suffer like I did,
Right.
sort of thing. So like, I think that's what it is. I think that's what makes Tarkov community and like the Dark Souls community. And there's another game I was playing recently that was incredibly hard, and the community was just like, "Oh no, you got this. You could do it." I'm just like, "Why are you guys so nice?" Like other communities are like, "Get good, scrub, learn
Right,
to dodge."
exactly. Oh, now, are there any games you're looking forward to coming out and playing?
There's a lot I can't think right now.
Yeah.
Let me mention one. There's a game I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah?
It's called Rawmen, and it comes out in open beta tomorrow. And the reason why I'm like this is because I'm a dev for it. I'm a game dev for a game called Rawmen. It's Rawmen. It sounds like a porn game, and it's not. It's a bunch of half naked dudes, which sounds like a porn game, throwing soup at each other. It's a play on words. So it's a third person shooter that's all of the weapons and everything are food.
Oh,
It's
no
a
way.
food pun game. So everything is food. So you throw Naruto cakes at people and you chuck soup and throw tomatoes and everything. And it's like I've loved developing for it.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for like 2.5 years, and I cannot believe it's hitting open beta tomorrow.
Wow.
Friday. I don't know when this podcast is
Yeah.
releasing. So that's tomorrow. We're going into open beta, and I'm super nervous, and that's where my brain is at right now.
Oh.
It's just like we're releasing tomorrow.
Now, how did you end up getting connected up and hooked up with those guys?
Oh yeah, that's a great story. So I mentioned before I have 5 jobs.
Yeah.
I hate having 5 jobs, but I'm a bit of a workaholic, and I chase dreams. I've always wanted to make games because I've played them for so long.
Yeah.
So it's always been a passion of mine, especially as a programmer already. It's like, hey, I have the skill set. Let's make games.
Yeah.
So that's one of my things. The other one has been streaming. I didn't realize that was going to be one of my dreams until I started doing it, and I'm like, I love this. I absolutely love it. and
How did you get started with ramen?
oh yeah, so I was actually making a game on Twitch. I was developing live on
Yeah.
Twitch, and I was making like a Twitch integrated pirate ship game, so you could play like actually on screen by typing in chat.
Okay.
So like similar to like a lot of the games where it's like Twitch plays Dark Souls, and all of chat is like trying to control the one guy.
Yeah.
Instead of that, you had your like own person on the screen, and you can control from chat, and everybody's like playing against each other on pirate ships. It was working really well, and I was doing a really good job. I was making progress on it and stuff like that. But the devs actually came by the stream and were like watching, and
Yeah.
I was talking about like some of the stuff that like I know, and they're like, I was like, this is how you optimize this, and they're like, wait, she knows what she's talking about, like what the
Oh,
heck?
shoot.
And so they reached out to me, and they're like, we're like we want to hire you for this, and I was like, wait, really? And
Oh
they're
my
like,
God.
yeah, we really do, and I was like, okay, and um, like one of my specialties is optimization,
Mm-hmm.
and so, like, literally, like, in the first, like, 2 weeks that I was working on ramen, I had already, like, completely overhauled, like, a major system of theirs and more than tripled the FPS of the game, and it was just, like and the first, like, test runs we did after that, it was really funny because, like, people were like, "I am running it in 4K at 144 FPS, and I don't know how anymore." So, but ever since I've been working for them, and now we're
So
open beta.
close. That's
I
awesome.
know.
Oh
It's
my
really
Lord.
exciting.
So now,
Oh, yeah, and then the other passion that I
yes.
have is voice acting. So,
Oh, no
I do
way.
lots of really stupid voices, like, all the time. And I do them on stream, and it's actually one of the reasons I regularly don't use a camera on
Yeah.
stream. I like there's, like, 2 or 3 days out of the week where I will or something, but, like, for the most part, I don't have a camera on. And it's because I like doing really stupid, silly stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite play as well if I have a camera on.
Right.
So, for instance, here,
Okay.
let's do this really fast. So if I'm in the middle of streaming and I'm just like, hey, hey, Steve, can you like find the thing with the guy? Yeah. No. What? No, I don't want to see your porno. See, no, I just
my
need
God.
the thing done. Can you get the thing? Yeah. Thanks, Steve. And so like, there's like stupid things like that. Like,
Yeah.
you make stupid jokes and stuff that don't play quite as well as me going, hey, Steve.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, so I like doing the silly voices and stuff, and I actually I'm doing one of the characters' voices in Rawmen, which is really
Oh,
fun
that's
too.
cool.
So in the game I'm dev for,
Right.
there's voices, but there's also a whole bunch of other Twitch broadcasters' voices in it,
Oh,
which is
wow.
really cool. So yeah, we've hired like almost exclusively Twitch broadcasters to
Yeah.
voice it.
Oh, wow. That's
So it's
be
kind
so
of great.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, very neat. So now, if you could play a game where you got to pick 3 other people of people who've
Oh.
streamed over the years, what 3 people are going to join you, and what game are you guys going to play?
Oh man. You're talking like Dream Squad,
Yeah, a
right?
dream squad. Yep,
Okay.
you're
All right.
picking a dream squad.
So it's really interesting because I have a really good buddy of mine who like he actually played pro Call of Duty back in the same era that I did.
Oh,
And I had
wow.
no idea
Yeah.
either. And so I met him through stream, and like we've been really good friends ever since. Like we played one game of PUBG together, and
Mhm.
it was back when I was partnered with them, and PUBG had like custom servers for partners, and
Yeah.
so it was when they're like, oh, we added zombie mode. And so we did like 4 of us versus like an entire server of zombies. Like we ended up with like a full server, like 100 people of zombies, and it
Oh
was
my
4
God.
of us versus zombies. And it was an incredible day because I had no idea he used to play like pro shooters.
Yeah.
And so did I. And we were also playing with like 2 good friends and DJ Knight, who's like I said, a really good other fellow broadcaster of
Yeah.
mine. And we were playing, and we were just we won versus like the 96 other zombies. And it was like epic. And there's like a clip of it because we ran out of ammo and we were down to melee weapons.
Oh my
I
God.
won with a frying pan. And it was like it was such an epic moment, and I loved it. And that was how I ended up meeting my buddy Nightcap.
Yeah.
And he used to play professional Call of Duty. And so I've actually played a few tournaments with Helm and stuff like that. But Helm and one of our other buddies, Wake, would be my other choice.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who I'd pick for a fourth, but probably a ringer. Somebody
Yeah.
who's really good shot. We actually it would probably be a guy that we used to play Tarkov with a lot. I haven't seen him in so long, but his name was Slow and Smooth. And if you ever got in comms with this guy, it was amazing because he would just be like, "Scratch 4. I just killed 4." And you're like, what? You're like, what? You killed 4 dudes? I heard 3 shots. Like, how?
Yeah.
And he was always so calm about it all the time. He was just like, "I just killed 4 guys." And you're like, excuse me? Like, what's happening here? So probably him. And we probably played Tarkov, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
I still love coming back to Tarkov, and those guys are incredibly good.
Yeah.
And somehow they're like, "Yeah, come along with this." And I'm just like, my aim sucks these days, guys. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh.
But it's gotten to the point where, like, the amount of times I played Tarkov with my buddy Nightcap is, you play Tarkov with anybody, you're going to shoot him eventually.
Yeah.
You're going to TK them eventually, but now my chat refers to anytime I TK somebody as nightcapping them because I've killed him so many times.
God.
It's really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that game is something else. You know, no other game really exposes how bad we are at communicating, I don't think.
Yeah, no, nothing quite does at all.
Yeah,
It's pretty
absolutely.
bad.
So now, do you have any plans on going to TwitchCon or anything like that? Or have you gone to many in the past?
I've gone to so many cons.
Oh, really?
so many cons, and I've had some incredible experiences.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's really funny because my community like shows up. Like if you guys are watching this, like fuck you guys for being so awesome. Honestly, I yell at them all the time, and they'll appreciate it. But they show up, like they really do. And so there's been a couple times where I've had like meet and greets and stuff at TwitchCon, and honestly, like I hate to say this because I've played games with Crream and everything and stuff, but like Cream's a way bigger broadcaster than I am. If you guys know who Crream is, massive. It's like 2,000 viewers all the time, or 1,000 or something. I don't know. It's way more than I do. And anyways, it's funny because at TwitchCon, like the last time I had like an official meet and greet, I was seated next to Crream, and he has his line of like, you know, like 5 people, and mine is literally out the door.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I have like 1/10 of this man's viewership, and like it was just my line. There were so many other huge broadcasters, and I'm just sitting there going, "Hi guys, I'll get to you guys in a second."
Oh, that is awesome.
So it's been really cool for that.
That's cool. Any other shows you go to or anything like that, or any conventions?
PAX East and mostly the PAXs and TwitchCon.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
But like as hopefully as more conventions open up and COVID goes away, then maybe if Rawmen is doing super well, then I'll be like representing them at booths and stuff.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any plans? Any goals or big plans you got set for you this year?
I don't know. Right now, vacation would be great. Honestly, vacation would be. But honestly, I've been really into like fitness recently. Actually, it's been really like my chat is calling me ab mommy. Right
yes,
now. Like, no, we can't do that. No, let's not. So I've been really into fitness recently and stuff. So like honestly, my goal is to like be a lot closer to like my dream body by the end of the year. So
excellent.
Hopefully, that's my first on the horizon. But I'm also, speaking of New World, I don't know. They've been putting out a lot of updates recently, and I'm like getting more and more tempted to go back to it. You know, it's one of those times where you're like, those updates are looking tasty. You know, like when Tarkov is like talking about like this is coming up in the next patch. I'm like,
oh man, that should be good. So now, what other content creators do you watch? Anyone flying under the radar people should check out?
I mean, you know, Bazinga. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yes,
you've watched Bazinga. Actually,
she's awesome.
I taught her Star System the other day.
Oh no way!
Yeah,
excellent.
I do like a flight school for Star System occasionally because I do low flying, which is like basically trick flying. Really
that is so cool. I've seen some people do that. Yeah.
If you want a clip or something of it, just ask me if you want it for the show. But yeah, I love doing that. It's honestly like it's really relaxing and also really intense.
Yeah.
And so flying in like tandem with other players and stuff. Like I have some really cool wingmen that I fly with.
Yeah.
And And so that's really, really crazy, like fun and stuff. But I taught Baz how to play
cool.
Star System the other day. And so if you're not watching, go watch her. She's awesome. Go watch Magpie. I watch so many
Yeah.
broadcasters, honestly. And shout out McLaffy Taffy. He plays Isaac.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of him recently because I'm really good friends with him. But he constantly jokes about how he's fat. And I enticed him to go into the gym literally like 2 days ago. So he's on like day 3 or something right now. And so he's struggling a little bad, but I'm proud of him for making it.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
Nope, not at all. And you mentioned something earlier, Flagship. What is Flagship for those that don't know?
Oh yeah, I'm a manager. That's my other job. That's one of my other jobs. So the Flagship is a broadcasting team. There's 8 broadcasters of us on the Flagship, and we're basically just a collection of partner broadcasters that play a variety of games, a lot of space-oriented games. We happen to have a lot of space people. But it's basically Das Valdez, who actually covers a lot of these SpaceX launches and everything. If you're watching footage on YouTube or Twitch of a rocket launch, you're probably watching footage from Das, honestly. He actually has he's gone way down that route. Like he used to just play Kerbal Space Program all the time.
Yeah.
But now he has press passes and stuff for rocket launchers. It's really cool. Like it's exceptionally cool. And then we have DJ Knight, who is just absolutely fantastic. He was on the Game Awards recently on a Gillette commercial.
Oh, wow.
And we have so many amazing people. Dana LaDemon, who is honestly like a rap god and just a hilarious fun dude to be around. Skin Teen, who is way funnier than I am. She doesn't use a camera either, but she's actually a cartoon. I know, I've met her in real life. She's actually a cartoon. We have Mike the Bard, who is an incredible musician. By the way, you wouldn't know with a name like Mike the Bard, but he's an incredible musician. I know it's weird, but he's a really good musician. He also does role playing. And then we have the Hunter Wild, who is probably the muskiest person on Twitch. And me. Yeah, me. I think I'm on the team as well.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, what made you put it together? What was how did it all start?
Actually, Bad News Baron, who is one of the other broadcasters on it. That was the last one I was getting to. Baron and DJ approached me, and I've been friends with them for a really long time. And at the time, I was on a different professional broadcasting team, and they approached me, and they're like, "We really want you on our team." I was like, "Okay." And so I ended up jumping on the team and helping form it and announce it and everything. And we've been doing waves and work ever since. And it's great. And I love how between 8 of us broadcasters, I love how integrated our communities are. Like if I show up in any of their streams, I see half the people in those channels are in my channel too. So it's very much our communities are so integrated at this point.
Yeah, I had Markstrom on a while ago and talking about the Marksman and his team with Deadly and Katie and Pep and Monster D-Face and talked about how the team for them was to be there for, to vent, to share ideas because their IRL friends have no idea some of the, the pressure and it's just really helpful from that aspect of things.
Yeah, we definitely vent to each other about Twitch stuff. But for I think first and foremost, we're friends and honestly a business together. It's been one of the most enjoyable businesses I've run for anything. So because it's just a bunch of friends who we all want to do good on Twitch.
Oh, excellent. Cool. So now shoes. Let's talk shoes for a minute.
My God. Okay.
So you like the wild shoes. Have you ever heard of John Fluvog?
I haven't.
My God. Okay. So he is a shoe designer out of Vancouver. He has the wildest shoes. The colors just pop out. They're you need to check that out.
I'm gonna have to grab one of these pairs and check it. Let me grab mine.
All right.
Yes. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll grab. Okay. So this is one that chat sent me.
Yeah.
And this is an Alice in Wonderland heel, and it's a very expensive shoe, but I just want to point this one out.
Oh my God.
Is absolutely insane. These are actual teacups on the front. It weighs a ton, by the way.
Oh my God.
But yes, actually wearable in my size, but they are like I'm terrified to wear these,
Oh my
honestly,
God,
but
yeah.
they're a statement piece, you know, like
Oh
they're
yeah.
so crazy. And so I collect like crazy shoes like this. Like some of them, like these right here, are
Yeah.
like they're so cool because they have a dragon on the front,
Yeah.
and I kind of want to do like a Daenerys cosplay and have dragons
Oh
on my
yeah.
feet too,
That would be
which would be
awesome.
really cool.
Cool.
But yeah, I actually I think I counted the other day. I think I'm over 200 pairs of shoes. And if you guys don't know what I mean, it's really a lot. So I have those shelves up there, and I have 11 more of those shelves in my bedroom.
Well, you know, some people are into cars. Your shoes. That's that's your
Yeah, and before
vice.
anyone watches this, judges me on my collection, and it's a collection, take a look at your Steam library and tell me how many of those games you've played. Okay, all right.
You
Don't
know,
judge me for my collection. I like collecting these.
that is such a great counterpoint. Yep, because there's probably 200 games in my Steam library that
Yes.
oh that looks so cool, and then I
They
go to
actually were
Tarkov.
like the really interesting part is most of my shoes are not expensive. They're
Yeah.
actually very cheap, and that's how I got my start on my collection. Is I like high heels. I like shoes. I like weird shoes and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I was like going to look for a pair of shoes, and I found this like website and it had really weird shoes. I was like, I would never wear any of these. But then I saw the prices, and they were like $10
Yeah.
or $5 or $20, and I was like, I can't not buy it for $5.
Right. Yeah.
That's the road I went down. Was it's really on sale, and bought a lot because they were really on sale. And suddenly I had like 50 pairs of shoes, and I was like, crap. And so started using them as decoration,
Yeah.
and then the collection grew. And then now I have some really expensive ones that I'm like fond of,
Yeah.
very much so. But for the most part, most of my shoes are less than like $20.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Which is hilarious.
Well, everybody needs something, your shoes, some people's baseball cards or yeah, teacups,
my-
spoons, whatever.
Yeah, some people collect farts. It's weird.
That is weird. Yeah, on that note, so after you hit the not go live button, what do you do? What are some of your things you enjoy? So you're in the middle of, you're working out, fitness. Do you watch anything, or you're just a constant go person?
I would like to point out that I have 5 jobs. so
I know.
The amount of free time that I have is very limited. I very much enjoy cooking. Actually, I like cooking.
Yeah.
So you can see my kitchen over here, whatever. But I like cooking a lot. I do. I haven't got to do a lot of it recently, but I actually have been doing like the keto diet for a really long time. So I made up like a whole bunch of like keto recipes and stuff that my chat is like, holy crap, this is so good.
Oh,
So
cool.
like a cheesecake milkshake that's keto friendly.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's delicious, and it tastes just like cheesecake. So I really enjoy cooking a lot, and like I said, recently fitness, but for the most part, I work all the time. Like my dad calls me, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you get one guess what I'm doing right now. Just one. He's like,
well, Smashley, thank you so much for doing this. I
Thank you for
really
having me. This was
appreciate it.
great.
But before you go, though, you have to shout out somebody in your circle that has a great story and should come on the pod.
Oh crap! Wait. Oh no! Wait. Do I really? Oh, okay. All right. Hold on. Who should come on your podcast? That's a good question. That's a really good question. I mean, you need to get MsMagpie.
I know I
honestly.
need.
You have to get MsMagpie.
I'm working on MsMagpie. Yes, absolutely.
She started watching my stream and is now way bigger than you have to. Like,
We'll
you
get
can
her
send her
on.
this clip and be like, Mags, like,
Smashley says
Smashley said you have to get on here. And
or you
do
have to
this.
send your keyboard. You send her keyboard back.
Yeah, she's gonna have to give it back. Give me back the keyboard, Mags, or do the podcast. Make a choice.
There we go. Well, Smashley, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And it was wonderful
Thanks
to
for
meet
having
you.
me. Yeah, it was great meeting you.